Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Fakhrul Ferdian, and today I will present an analysis of the impact of fuel subsidies on the economic and consumer behavior in Indonesia as one of part my mid-exam in the class Economic and Business Landscape Analysis. This topic is crucial as Indonesia continues to balance economic growth, energy affordability, and fiscal sustainability. To begin, Indonesia is the fourth most populous country in the world, with a projected population of 284 million by the 2025 by the Statista. The economy is experiencing significant demographic change, with a large working-age population. However, the country faces economic challenge, including income inequality, with a projected Gini coefficient of the 0.37 in 2025. This makes fuel subsidies is a critical issue, especially for low-income households who rely on them for daily expenses. For the next, in Indonesia, fuel subsidies aim to ensure affordable energy access. The main subsidized fuel are Pertalite or gasoline with the RON 19 and the diesel or solar with the CN 48, primarily used by the low-income groups, small business, and the public transport operator. However, research showed that the higher income group consume more fuel per capita, meaning they benefit disproportionately from the subsidies. Fuel subsidies significantly impact Indonesia economy. Total consumer spending is forecast to reach 804 billion in 2025. However, subsidy distort market pricing, leading to inefficiency such as overconsumption and increased reliance on fuel import. Moreover, they strain public finance, reducing funds available for essential services like healthcare and education. For the market structure, Indonesia fuel market operates under a monopoly dominated by Pertamina, the state-owned oil company which hold 84% market share. The government set the fuel price, preventing natural market forces from adjusting them freely. This creates market distortion, where subsidy keep price artificially low. Uh, this effect leading to the excess demand. Historically, any attempt to reduce the subsidy has faced strong public opposition due to the fear of rising fuel prices. For the supply and demand effect, subsidy disrupt market equilibrium by keeping price below the natural level. For example, let's see Pertalite in Indonesia is priced by the government at the 10,000 per liter, while its market equilibrium price is should be around 12,680 rupiah per liter. This lead to higher demand than supply, causing level shortage. If subsidy were removed, however, we could see the inflation, higher unemployment, and an increase in the number of people living in the poverty. One way to analyze the impact of subsidies is through the Mundell framing model, which explains how fiscal policy affects exchange rate and the GDP. When the government increases spending through subsidy, the ES curve shifts to the right, leading to the currency depreciation. which make export cheaper and can boost GDP. However, removing subsidies would have the opposite effect, affecting the currency, making export less competitive and potentially slowing economic growth. In economic terms, fuel subsidy create a deadweight loss, which represent inefficiencies in the market. This occurs because some consumers use more fuel than they actually need, increasing the cost to the government without generating equivalent economic benefit. For example, the deadweight loss calculation on the gasoline of a Pertalite in Indonesia. This inefficiency is estimated to 8.67 trillion rupiah, or equivalent 23.75 billion rupiah per day due to the excessive fuel consumption. Factor contributing to the DWL is a fuel subsidy is the blanket subsidies is benefiting wealthier also and household disproportionately. And then the government still face the political pressure to maintain the fuel subsidies. Then for the price elasticity of demand, fuel subsidy generally lead to a decrease in the price elasticity. From the simulation, the demand for fuel in Indonesia is inelastic, meaning consumers do not significantly change their consumption even when the price fluctuated in the short time. This due to the several factors, like a large population depend on the private vehicle, especially a motorcycle, a limited public transport infrastructure outside the major cities, and the long-standing practice of the fuel subsidy reducing the incentive for fuel efficiency. For the next, let's we see the impact on the consumer behavior from the fuel subsidies. Fuel subsidies is influence consumer behavior in the various way. The first one, they will encourage overconsumption. As artificially low price, reduce the incentive to save fuel. However, fuel subsidy is often misdirected, make the wealthiest benefit the most from the subsidies. And then they lead to increased private vehicle ownership. Will be make the worsening traffic congestion and the pollution in Indonesia because when the price lower, encourage the higher private vehicle ownerships. For the third, it will be effect in the shift in the public transport utilization. They discourage the use of the public transportation except the cases where subsidies are reduced, prompting a shift in a behavior. For example, in the research after Indonesia's 2015 fuel subsidy reform, public transport usage in the Jakarta increased by the 12 until 15%. And then the last one it will be impact in economic inefficiencies. Fuel subsidy create economic inefficiencies by the keep energy price artificially low. It discourage investment in renewable energy and innovation that improve the efficiencies. From the given this economic and behavioral impact from the fuel subsidies, we can conduct some policy recommendation to solve this problem. The first one, we can do the gradual subsidy reduction. Instead of a sudden removal, passing out subsidy over the years will allow a smoother transition and reduce inflationary shocks. And then for the next stage, we can do some targeted subsidies.
Instead of the universal subsidies, financial aid should be directed toward a low-income household. We can do through a digital ID link system, or we can do like a direct cash transfer, a BLT, or a voucher to the poor one. And then we can do some regulating fuel price. This is to prevent market manipulation by establish an independent agency to monitor and regulate fuel price in Indonesia. For next policy recommendation, the government can do some investing in the public transportation. It's like expanding transport infrastructure in a major country on the rural area to reduce dependency on the fuel. It will be help to make the market adaptation for the fuel price adjustment in the future. And then the government can do some promoting renewable energy. This is encourage an investment in a solar or a wind power can decrease reliance on the fuel subsidies. And then for the last one, the government can do or conduct some consumer awareness campaigns. The purpose is educating the public on the fuel efficiencies and alternative transportation method. It can help drive long-term behavior change. In the conclusions, fuel subsidies in Indonesia provide short-term benefits but create long-term economic inefficiencies. While they help stabilize fuel price, they also lead to overconsumption, market distortion, and budgetary strain. A well-planned subsidy reform focusing on the gradual reduction, targeted assistance, and investment in the alternative energy and transportation is necessary for sustainable economic growth. That brings us to the end of my presentation. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.